You listen to Stan Rogers?
Hello there,
Probably
gentlemen.
not.
Howdy.
Hi, it's stream time. How ya guys doing tonight?
Hey, okay.
Good, good.
Gotta be
good.
better than me, 'cause my house almost burned down. Hey, Matt, you might recognize this wall. I'm in the dorms. Room 5.
Really?
Yeah, my
Wait,
house
is that
almost...
the same one you were in when I
No,
was there?
I was in 17 and 16, but that's beside the point. So yeah, I'm displaced for a few months, so my situation is bad right now. But hey, you know what? For the next 2 hours, that doesn't mean anything, 'cause it's Star Trek time, so I can ignore all the awful things happening in my life. So
Yay, escapism!
what?
Yay.
I said yay, escapism.
Yeah, escapism. And this is why I've spent more time playing video games than I have outside. Okay, okay.
I have no issues with it.
Same,
Being a
though.
vampire is my lifestyle.
My skin tone and my muscle mass do have issues with it, but that's not what matters right now. So okay.
Just because I can blend in with a birch tree doesn't mean I have a problem.
I'm not gonna necessarily agree with that, but we're gonna keep going. So, anywho, all right. Hey, so I've started doing a thing that I should have done from the beginning. I've started taking notes about last session, so just a brief recap.
Hey.
So, last session, fun stuff happened. Sorab started to use telepathy to try to contact or communicate with one of the Ardestians, the Reds.
Excuse you, I didn't start using telepathy. I went all in. We played half the session in my mindscape.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, don't pat yourself on the back too hard there, Tim.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying if you're gonna.
A lot of things
Started.
happened. So Tim was able to about 90% successfully communicate his ideas, while the other guy, the Ardestian, was, and that 10% was failed rolls. That's just luck of the dice. The Ardestian was able to explain a lot of things about how they perceive us. A lot of it was how the Ardestian view of events is very different from what we got from the Cockneys, but we're not sure why. But it also seemed that the Ardestians really are not interested in peace. They kind of just want to exterminate the all the Terrans, and us too, probably by extension.
They want to do a genocide.
They
also,
want to do a genocide.
Matt, you and I were the last men standing.
On what again?
the attack.
The 30 guards, they all got passed
Oh
out.
yeah, so there were 30 security officers that I rolled a d30 to see how many would pass out when the Ardestians started to try to do a psionic attack. I rolled a 30. They all passed out.
I told you there was no reason to bring them. They're not protagonists. When you're not a
Yes.
protagonist, you don't get to do anything.
Well, I was not going to roll a science and fortitude check for 30 of them. So that's more funny though. So yeah, the Ardestrian was put back under. Then let's see, and then we had, let's see, Detrone, everyone's favorite Tevarin, went to engineering and tried to recruit Calvo the same way that he attempted to recruit Fish. Calvo was not nearly as receptive to it. Then he went to talk to Fish, Detrone did, and Fish agreed to allow Detrone to help with the program that Fish is developing to try to mind control more or less the Ardestians to make them calmer.
It's a psionic pacifier.
Yes, try to basically make them less evil.
To be fair though, they are quite literally a genocidal group right now. They're like straight up, we will kill them all in like crusader like extermination levels of like
Yes.
xenophobia and like
Yes.
everyone, like we will kill them to the last. That's what they said. They said
Exactly.
we will kill the women, the children, and the
No. They did not say it that way.
They didn't say it that way, but that was heavily implied.
That's what
They're
they
gonna
would
kill
do.
every last one of them.
They did say the only thing that they would accept as recompense was to annihilate every
To the
single
last.
one of
That
them.
was
Yeah.
the women and
And
children were not
so-
specified.
I'm
What-
like, maybe I should make a psionic pacifier to make them less genocidal.
So if the Cochrans were to just disappear from
They
their
would hunt them down.
They're not okay
Galaxy.
with that. They're not okay
Yeah,
with
they
that.
made it very
Yeah,
clear
we-
they view that as escaping punishment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, another idea. We fake the death of an entire species.
Oh God.
Listen, I like where this is going. Let them talk.
Wow. Wow.
I am mercy.
Because
That's the first thing I hear.
God.
I might need to catch up a little bit, but
Psionic
or maybe
pacifiers,
I
that's,
shouldn't.
bad.
I shouldn't catch
Um,
up.
that might be saying something, especially since I wasn't here last week.
Yeah, and neither was Nakamura, who's now missed. Like I just gave the recap, so
But
To the one guy that needed the recap was
the other guy
There
that
were-
did it. Matt wasn't here either. So
Yeah.
So there was brain talk, and now we're talking about how to control brain talk.
basically, yes. Thank you, Tim.
Ah.
Beautiful.
I'm assuming Red's brain talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes. Okay. All right. So what's happening now is we are on our way back to Terra 2. Basically, the main goal is to try to convince the Terrans, the Cochrans, to go along with our plan. The main one that they're going to need convincing on is to use the wormhole machine to transport a planet to try to pull Tevar out of a decaying orbit. That's one of the big things. But I know that our fearless diplomat has it all planned out, knows exactly what needs to be said through the captain, because the captain has the authority here, doesn't he? As he's talking.
That checks out. Captains usually do have the authority. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So
That's at least 50% of their whole thing.
That's why they get paid the big bucks.
oh, also Fish. Guess what's going to have happened in the interim on the way back?
Algockley?
No, that's still a few days away.
It's like-
That's still a few
My
days
hopes.
away.
That's why I was like, did it happen or really? I was like,
No.
I was getting excited.
What's
Got my
something
hopes up.
else that you did?
Okay, I do get. So there's also the vocal cord sort
Yes, the
of
notes.
recordings.
You're gonna get notes from. If I can find where the hell they are. Let's see.
I can't wait to kill all of the people on the
All right,
Lexington
so
and steal their tech. That's gonna be interesting
I
to
am
read.
posting.
Is that like a
in-
Mad Libs that you have, Doctor? Is just I'm looking forward to killing the blank on the blank.
All right,
Yeah.
so
He has a
Detrone.
dartboard.
That's right.
All right, Detrone recording log 2 has just been uploaded to Star Trek Game Files on Discord. So if you want to look through that while we're,
And I'll just say that I uploaded them to everybody.
well, sure, yeah, you can be looking at that while the others are doing diplomatic
Or
stuff,
it's in storage. I don't know. Where is it?
something like that. So
Start-
okay, all right, so nothing else interesting is going to happen until the ship reaches Terra 2. All right. So, what are you guys gonna do?
How long is it that we're talking about this drip being XCR2?
Let me pull that up again. I should have this memorized by now. But
Are we wasting a couple hours, or are we wasting like days?
it's either 6 or 12 hours. Let me look up which it is on the trip between them. Well, it also depends on what speed you're going at.
Yeah, Captain. What speed are we going at?
What speed does Tavar know we can go at? That's the question.
At 8.
Yep, we're gonna go at warp 8 then.
Okay, the ship can go up to 9.2.
I know.
I'm the captain. That's why.
We
I
need
know
to maintain the because if we manage to get to Tavar faster, or from Tavar to Terra 2 faster, then their knowledge says that we can. That is going to open up a whole can of worms that will completely derail any kind of negotiations that we have plans for.
Yeah, we don't even know if we can trust these people yet.
All right, actually, at warp 8, it's going to take 12 hours. But that's fine. A lot of the stuff that was happening last session, actually everything happened last session, was basically on the way. So,
Tripper, one question.
what's that?
Do we know a Prerara row? Was the name Preraro ever mentioned?
Preraro, yeah, that's the big guy.
Preraro.
That's the first of the heralds. One
Okay.
that was speaking for the Caesura.
Noted.
Oh, the one that said that they won't
They're non-committal.
yeah,
Yeah.
that they wouldn't even try to convince their people. Like
Yes. Also, the one
Interesting.
that was talking with Detrone, trying to recruit fish. Okay. So yes, he's having fun reading the logs from all that.
There's probably time to play Skyrim 650th Anniversary Edition for the Starship computer system.
600.
only 650th?
Well,
Only
it wouldn't be
It's
set.
the re-release of the remake of the
we're-
remaster
yeah.
re-release.
We're in 2700, right?
No, we're in 2300.
Oh, 2300.
So
So
it's
Oh,
like
trust me, they've
200
released it that many
80th
times.
anniversary edition.
Yeah,
Well, the
they
thing
do it
is,
like
now they-
6 times a year.
They re-release Skyrim so many times that by this point they'll have their own versions of different re-releases that they re-release.
God,
So
Yeah.
they're
No,
it's
On
like, it's
different systems. It's yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but the addition for the Starship computers have changed the elves a little bit to be less offensive to Vulcans,
beautiful.
and
But
Thalmor.
but Fish's version is the mods exclusive.
Yeah, he's got it modded
Like-
to hell and back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've seen the Captain Crunch oops all berries.
Yes.
This is Skyrim oops all mods.
And even with that computer, it still crashes. So, all right, we are way the hell off the rails. So let's get to. All right, so you've entered orbit of Terra 2. So what do you do?
Are they expecting a call from us at any point?
Not necessarily, but I don't think they'd be surprised if you called. I mean, they know
mean-
you're there.
They know why we left, right? Was to go see what's going on with Tavar.
Yes, that is true.
So I don't think they'd be terribly surprised if we came back and was like, "Hey, here's what's happening with Tavar."
That checks out.
Yes. But the question is, who would be the main point of contact, though?
You.
No, with them. Who to
I
call?
meant with them.
Uh,
I already know that I'm the designated speaker, which is still strange.
Yes, but it's great. You're doing a fantastic job.
But would we want to try to contact the Secretary of Science or one of the Blevins? Or like, is there like a just a line for like the entire council as a whole?
I think last time we tried to contact the council, we just kind of got directed to one of the secretaries.
Yeah, you went through a secretary first.
The secretary of the secretary.
Yeah, I mean, just you know, what we want to do is we want to call up the little old lady who sits there with the receiver and the cigarette all day, goes through like 12 cups of coffee,
Yes.
and just ask her who we
Hello.
should talk to. Yeah, exactly. Just ask her who we should talk to, and she will connect us to the right person immediately, even if that number isn't officially listed.
It's gonna be operator.
Oh, did she have the
No, no, I want Trip
switchboard
to
too?
roleplay that character.
God, I can actually.
The 80-year-old that's a 2-pack a day smoker for the rest of it.
Yes.
That's what we do.
Where's she getting the cigarettes though?
She's been running the switch. She brought them. She's been running the switchboard since they were in the Milky Way. She brought
Everyone
brought the
knows that if they
cigarettes
want
with her.
something done, they bring her cigarettes. That's what it
she
is.
brought her cigarettes with her from Earth.
How many did she bring?
All of them. She
No,
brought.
Cigarettes.
People bring their cigarettes to get stuff done because in the bureaucracy, you need to bribe
Yeah.
the secretary to get anything done.
God.
That's
You don't
that's
know
how
how
it
many.
works.
You know how
The little
Jack
carton of
feels-
cigarettes goes by, be like,
Listen,
Misty, you can help me out with this, right?
you don't know how many tobacco farms are on Terra 2. Did you ask that? You never asked that.
That's never been decided.
You can't assume it's 0.
They went backwards a little bit.
There's
little
not plantations. Don't you start assuming that.
Listen, I'm not assuming. That's my point. Is we're not assuming anything.
I kind
That could
of
be-
thought that.
Everything's on the table.
We're not assuming that they're not there.
If I made
We're
them
just-
slave owners, that obviously who's gonna.
You
be
know
the
they have
bad
tobacco
guys.
fields that aren't run by
I
slaves.
Yeah,
know,
right.
but I hear where you're going with this, and I don't like it.
I'm not going there. I'm just going to they
It-
grow tobacco and make cigarettes.
Native
Oh.
Americans were cultivating tobacco for a lot
No,
longer
no.
before.
It's a tobacco farm that is completely maintained by prototype datas.
There you go.
Oh wow, that won't bite them in the butt later
Yeah.
on. But oh, anyways,
Definitely will. So who the hell are you calling?
We said we're calling Dolores.
Okay, you're gonna call Dolores. So, okay. Well, Dolores is a person, but where is she? Like, what department are you calling?
The counselor's department.
You're calling up the therapists?
No, the council.
Okay, you're gonna call the front desk for the council itself. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So,
Ba-da-ding, ba-da-ding.
screen's gonna come up. It's gonna be an old-looking lady. Who's gonna go. This is the secretary of the council. How can I help you?
Nice, nice.
This is Captain Crystal of the Lexington. And I was hoping to get in contact with the council.
Now, are you on visual or not?
No.
Okay. Gonna ask, can I ask why your video isn't on?
It is the standard procedure in the Milky Way currently.
Oh, that's what it said.
Oh,
That's
you're
gotta be
that
that's
ship. Okay, gotcha. All right, so who were you looking for again, sweetheart? Chris came in at a beautiful time.
Right?
Priceless. It's like, what type of stream did I log
Don't
into?
even worry about it, Chris. Don't even worry about it. We're just going with it. Okay, so she has
Doesn't
asked.
Was that
take you
the,
the death of an entire
Was that the
species
El
intro.
Gockley talking? Is it sentient?
Nope. We're
No.
talking
No.
to Dolores, the
No,
reception.
not
yet.
yet. I was
Not yet.
disappointed by the lack of El Gockley too. Don't worry.
This is
Chris.
Dolores, the secretary for the council at Terra 2.
Oh,
Yes.
good
Yes,
luck
so
trying
that-
to get through her.
Yes. All right. So she just asked.
We all know about that. She's a roadblock if you're not in good graces.
Mhm. Rather face an angry Klingon.
She just asked who you are attempting to reach.
Just saying, beam down a bottle of gin and we'll give you fine.
So let me think here.
Take your time,
I-
sweetie.
I believe it may. I believe it's not Captain. Is it President?
Yes.
President Blevins?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you're not wrong. It depends which one you want to talk to, because there's a Blevins in
Yeah.
every shop.
Yeah.
Say-
There are too many Blevins, if we're being
Blevins
honest.
is like Smith in this Ontario.
Yeah, I was
too.
gonna say they've all intermarried to the point where everyone has the same last name. It's
Yeah.
kind of rough.
So she's gonna say, "Oh, you and everyone else, sweetheart. Okay, I can pencil you in. Friday after next at 3 in the
What?
morning."
Then how about for the Secretary of Science?
Oh, good luck, honey. She doesn't take any kind of appointments.
Is there anyone on the council we can talk to?
Oh yes, the Secretary of the Interior. No one ever wants to talk to her for some reason. I don't even know.
Of the interior?
Interior
I think
decorating?
that's what it was. Let me look at my notes again. I'm pretty sure that's.
She's got a
I'm-
Rolodex.
I'm
She's
just
The
got
very
one
the old
that
school
was
Rolodex
obsessed
card.
with all the cultures.
That's.
Well, she wouldn't be obsessed with the cultures, would she? She'd be obsessed with like the land use.
Let me see.
No, you're talking. Now, there's a difference between the position and the person.
Right. Yeah.
The person was very obsessed with cultures.
Okay. As a hobby.
Apparently, I guess.
Okay. That makes sense.
I mean, not everyone can make their hobby their job,
That's true.
Oh,
like the captain.
tell me about it, right?
Yes. So that was
Acting
Secretary of the Interior, Joanna Langley. She oversees the economy and social issues.
Would
I think you
would
should
she
go
be
for
able to? We should just go for it.
it. I think you should just go for it.
Okay, we're gonna go for it.
Let's say, all right, sweetheart, I can connect you. You have a good day. She's gonna come on the screen like, hello.
She seems nice.
Tripper does that all too well.
I have found an accent other than Southern I can pull off. I'm very proud of myself. Moving on. Also, I have a thunderstorm, so if I suddenly go away, you'll know why.
Wait, that wasn't a southern
You were
accent.
struck by lightning? Is that what you're trying to imply?
The building might be. Damn it, if the dorms burn down, I quit.
I don't. Poor guy. You. Sorry, man. Like maybe a little too soon. I don't know.
never
Like
too
how you
soon.
doing?
I'm living in the dorms, but this is escapism. I don't want to talk about it. Let's get back to
Okay.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry.
We can talk
Continue.
about it later. Anyhow, okay. So Joanna Langley, hello.
Hello, this is Captain Crystal on the Lexington.
Oh, hi. Yes. How are you doing?
Uh, better than Tavar at the moment. I was hope. Well, we're hoping to. I was hoping to talk to somebody that would be able to help us. Well, update. Hoping we could update the council and uh, possibly ask for help on saving Tavar.
Saving Tavar. Oh, okay. That sounds
They
serious.
Well, it would be very amiss if you were slowly in a decaying orbit drifting into the sun.
It's not slow.
Slow is an understatement.
How,
Like
6 months
less
is okay.
less than 6 months.
less than 6 months until they hit the sun?
Well,
be-
until they
Un-
die.
Until they die.
Inhabitable. Inhabitable, yeah.
Oh. Okay then. What am I supposed to do about it? I'm the Secretary of the Interior. I'm just sorry to throw that at you, but if it was Terra 2 falling into the star, I might be a little more have more to do with it, considering the Interior is on that planet. But I don't know what I'm supposed to do about Tavar.
Well, on one hand, I was hoping that since I was unable to connect to any of the other council members, that's the word. Council members, not counselors.
Council member. Yes.
I was hoping that possibly you'd be able to help me get in contact with the correct council member.
Okay. Well, I guess that totally depends on what you're wanting to do about this. Like, are you trying to evacuate their planet? Or are you trying to
Unfortunately,
save the planet?
The answer is yes.
Unfortunately, the answer is both.
Both.
Because
Fair enough.
trying to give both options to the entire planet, but there's a good number of people on said planet that don't want to evacuate and leave all of their traditions and history.
Okay. I can't say we really understand that, considering we've only been on this planet for about 140 years, but less than 120. Anyhow, how many people are on Tavar? Out of character, 5 billion.
5 billion.
That's a lot of people to relocate in 6 months. Even if some of them don't want to leave.
They're motivated. They're motivated.
Well, I can tell you that our ship capacity, just running some math, they're a light year away. We're not going to nearly be able to move that many people in that time frame. Especially since most of our ships are currently out stopping the hordes from coming to our doorstep. So we would not be able to spare very many ships whatsoever.
Which is understandable. And based on the rationale of most of the inhabitants, most of them would prefer to save the entire planet.
Okay.
In which we're running into two main problems, and that is getting it out of a decaying orbit and possibly making it stable to be a rogue planet on its own without the need of a sun.
That wasn't just what?
Well, in order to, if we are able to get it out of a decaying orbit and it leaves its sun, without that sun, it's just as bad as going into the sun.
Right, but we never talked about taking it out of the orbit of the star. We talked about putting it into a stable orbit.
Then what was the Shepherd planet about?
To shepherd it into a stable orbit.
We're
You don't
slingshotting the
shepherd.
planet.
You
to
don't
another
shepherd
planet.
things away from the grass that they eat.
Okay. And then after it gets through the wormhole,
That's an after the wormhole problem. What do you?
if we can fix the problem before we have the problem, then there won't be a problem.
Wait, but they had a. They were in.
Well,
a
that
stable
is sound
orbit.
logic, sir.
On the
I'll
other
give you
on the
that.
other side of the wormhole, they were in a stable orbit.
You're assuming that when we get them back through the orbit, that it will open in the exact same place.
Do
And-
wormholes just move around? Is this a new thing that they do?
They didn't know where they were opening up the wormhole. If they didn't have any control over where they're opening up the wormhole, how are we supposed to have control over where we're opening the wormhole?
Okay, so she's watching you two have this fight. She's like, okay. This is a question for the Secretary of Science. This is not for me. I'm guessing you tried to get in contact with her and you were unsuccessful because she's a hermit.
A bit so, yes.
Okay, good news. I have a line to her. She's not going to like that I gave this out, but this seems like a slightly important thing. So,
Am I there?
What?
Am I there?
No.
Yes or no?
No, you are not
No.
there.
Can I go over to the deck now?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna say okay. She's gonna send you not coordinates, but just like a where you need to contact. Be like, okay. You've talked to her before, I know. So good luck, because here's my best tip for you. Make it into a challenge for her, something that she can like sink her teeth into, because she's not going to care about the planet whatsoever. Just straight honesty. But make it a scientific challenge for her, and I think you can have better luck. So, anything else I can do for you?
Not at the moment. Thank you.
All right. Well, good luck.
All right, so Captain, I think we should pitch this. Open up with, we want to test the wormhole by moving a planet in order to stabilize the orbit of another planet.
Say that
I-
one more time.
If we start there, I think that's gonna get her attention. It sounds like.
We want to test the wormhole generator by using it to correct the orbit of a planet.
It's very important that we include that it involves moving an entire planet, because that's the part that makes it a challenge. It's a once in a generation challenge.
Would
I
you
mean, you
like
can say
to
what
take...
you want. That's just what I think I just think that would be a good place to open with her, so that she doesn't hang up on us before we can explain anything else.
Well, I don't think that the wormhole thing would get her, like, entice her as much as we would need, because the wormhole thing, that's something that they've been working on for decades already. It's an old challenge.
Sort of. I mean, it's also like a casual daily challenge. Like they've been trying to figure out the wormhole so that they can eventually go home, but they've been here for decades. They're embedded well enough on the planet that they can stay for decades. Like there's a certain lack of urgency. Most of these people don't even remember the Milky Way.
None of them.
So
do.
there's-
It's been 140 years.
140 years. So there's no sense of urgency. But when we open with, we need to stabilize an orbit within 6 months, and we need your scientific expertise to move an entire planet to do it. Now it's interesting.
The wormhole
Again.
is secondary.
Yeah, the fact that it's the wormhole is like, okay, that means that she has a starting point. But like, we're introducing something new, and that new includes urgency. Again, this is a suggestion. You do with it what you're going to do. That's kind of the deal with being captain.
Yes, it is. He's advised.
I'm encouraging you to consider that as one of the options.
Because the hard part here is trying to figure out how to entice her.
We gaslight her. That's all we have to do.
No.
No, that's literally what they're saying. We have to explain how
No.
incompetent she is, and then pull the classic. Yeah. Oh, you say you just don't have the time? That's because you just obviously don't have the ability. You're not smart enough, and you simply are afraid of the challenge. And then she'll be like, "Me? No, I'm not gonna." It's like, "Oh, really?" It's like if you really were, you would just do it then. And then
There's some
it's gonna
rules
be a
involved in
very
that, but I think
strict-
that's a solid plan. There's a solid plan.
Oh god.
No.
That's literally. I don't know about you, but that sounds like it's gonna be the optimal solution.
Okay, so we have two different plans on the table.
Operation
That's what
Gaslight.
Zoog's gonna do when he shows up.
Like, can we lock Dr. Fish off of the bridge temporarily?
I
It's
mean,
your
you could
bridge,
order
but
it.
you be
You don't
metagaming
know.
right there. Because
Oh,
you just told me
well-
what he was going to do.
Yeah,
All 30 of the security officers are incapacitated right now, so good luck.
right, but the doors can just like.
Yeah.
Seal.
You can lock the doors.
I meant like not
You can
give
shop the turbo lifts.
like withhold Dr. Fish's access to the bridge.
But wait, but you don't know to do that. That's
Yeah,
the
that would be
metagaming
metagaming.
Eric's
That
pointing
would,
out.
yeah, it's metagaming.
would-
I
It
mean,
would
I
work.
don't. I mean, if I'm talking to the Secretary of Science, I would assume that I don't want Dr. Fish in the conversation.
But you don't know that he's coming to the bridge.
Yeah, you don't know he's coming though.
That's the problem. Is that like, are you going to take the time in our conversation to go, hey, I wonder where Dr. Sung is right now?
Now,
Oh, it looks like he's moving in this vague direction. I better lock him. Like, you know
now,
what I mean?
if he does this to you once and then you're like from here on out,
Yeah.
he doesn't have access, completely makes sense. But like at this moment, at this time, there would be some heavy metagaming there, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try and completely destroy it. That's just assuming your plan doesn't work.
Okay.
Plus, I've been saving up a lot of like, Fish does not like her, and he has not gotten a chance because everyone keeps like pushing him away from the chance to talk with the person, the
So-
scientist.
But I would throw it out there, Matt, is that your metagame is stressing right now. You're like, I have this thing coming, but you have no
No,
idea
that's
it's happening.
not-
So therefore,
not-
like it should be
let's
entering
not
your
waste-
decision
yeah,
making.
yeah.
All
You
our
need
That's
to-
not what I'm. That's not
Fish
what
is
I'm trying
not
to
on
figure
your
out.
radar
I
No.
just
until
kind
he
of like
very
how
suddenly is.
I mentioned I'm coming to like the front of the ship,
Actually,
and then immediately like a 2-minute timer popped up on the top of my mental screen,
yeah,
flashing
I-
red.
can I have Detrone come to the bridge?
Yeah,
Oh
You're
yeah,
the
I'm with him.
absolutely could.
We
You're
could go
captain.
together.
Oh god.
You forgot he was with me, didn't you?
I forgot he was with.
You
Oh,
don't
wow.
know that. You don't
Not-
know that.
Matt,
you never
now
did know that.
now you've walked into it.
have.
You made it worse.
But thing is that Detrone is a mad scientist.
Yes.
Secretary of Science is a scientist who verges on the madness.
She's
She's-
just mad.
She's just an angry scientist.
Yeah.
But is this gonna boil down to a GM,
Yes,
Tripper talking to a
probably
Tripper
is.
conversation?
And I'm okay with
I feel like
this
it
one.
is.
This one's gonna
Three
be
two scientists walk into a room, and then a medical officer who says they're scientists.
It's basically a
Alright,
mad
well,
scientist,
okay,
too.
Just goes in there, gaslights everybody, and then walks out.
Who do you want to be having this conversation? Because what type of how do you want this conversation to go? Do you want this to be scientist to scientist? Do you want this to be like
That's fair.
what type of conversation do you want to be having? And you should probably pick if it's you as the captain, that's fine. But if that's gonna be the case, you need to do all the talking. Like if you want it to be very diplomatic, you can lean off to me. If you want to be very scientific, you can lean off to Detrone or Fish or Calvo. Like,
Well, the thing is, I don't think that the diplomatic route will work with her.
Exactly.
Alright.
Gaslighting.
yeah. So, but yeah.
Not gaslighting.
So before you call her, you need to decide what type of conversation you want to have, and therefore call in the person who will have that conversation.
In which honestly, I think it's a combination of two people that are not Fish.
Right, but who are those
Which
two
is
people?
Glue and Detrone. I think those are the two people that would be able to talk to the secretary.
Who plays
And
Blue?
That's Chris.
It's Calvo.
Alright.
yeah,
Yeah. So what you
yeah,
probably
they would
want to
be
do
the
then,
best.
Captain? So what you want to probably do, Captain, is if you want to have this be that type of conversation, you probably want to call the two of them, send them to like the conference room, and then have everybody else outside of the conference room until you need us.
Oh God.
Like if you want, if time is of the essence, you want to have a very specific type of conversation. Like, you don't want the diplomat in the room. You don't want the doctor in the room. You don't want anyone in the room that's going to shift the conversation in a different way just by their presence.
True.
So don't do it on the bridge. Call the people that you want to be having this conversation. Send them to the conference room. Lock the door until they need something.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do just that.
Hey.
Because like that is the
That's not targeting anyone. It's not metagaming. That's what they do on Star Trek. We see them do that all the time.
yeah.
All right. So you're gonna call up Detrone and
So,
Calvo.
so Fish and I are going to be on the bridge talking about the conversation. Probably is what's going to happen.
Glorious. All right. So let's. So you're gonna call them right there, Captain. All right. So let's do that out real quick. So you call Chris, ask him how you would ask him. He's just in engineering right now with CJ on his arm, like basically, like he always is.
Captain DeGlue.
Glue here, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna need your scientific expertise in talking to the Secretary of Science.
All right. What's it about?
Saving Tavar, but this time you're not going it alone.
Don't tell me Dr. Fish is coming.
People are so mean
I
to Fish.
am not. I haven't lost my mind yet. No,
Calvo just chuckles.
I'm going to have Detrone join you.
Oh, thank gosh. That'll be a good person to have in the room.
Fish even likes Calvo.
With I figured he is a good a good person to have in the room, with being both a scientist and being from the planet we're trying to save.
They might actually listen to him. I don't know how much influence I have, but I'll certainly do what I can.
You're a familiar face to the secretary.
True. We've met a couple times previously, so I'll do anything that helps her. I'm here for orders.
Alright.
So
I like that I'm a
uh,
fake diplomat and people are still more mean to Fish about talking to people.
So in the conference room, I guess the one closest to the bridge. I don't know
Yes,
what.
there should be one right off
There
the
is.
bridge,
There
right?
is.
Yeah, that one.
like the captain's one or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the ready room. The conference room. There's different. There's rooms where they need to be. Don't worry about it. It's the ship.
Yeah,
of
it's one over
requirement.
there.
It's the ship of requirement. Don't worry about it.
Okay, we don't have to look to see if it's booked like I have to do at work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, if
they're
you
having
look-
a
it-
picca party.
Yeah.
No,
Astrogation's
it is
having a pizza
empty.
party.
But the captain
Take it
says
to the
that
conference
it's
room
empty.
B.
It's Ensign Barkley's Ensign Barkley's birthday, so they're serving out cake.
Sadly. Okay, so that's that conversation. So we need to call someone else, right?
Captain Crystal to Detrone.
This is Detrone. What may I do for you today, Captain?
Well, I was hoping to use your expertise in talking to someone who has an interest in science and nothing else.
You, sir, are speaking my language. Where and when?
Well, as soon as possible on the conference room adjacent to the bridge.
I am on my way.
Perfect.
Who were you just talking to, Detrone?
You weren't with him at this point.
I wasn't?
No, not this time. This
I
was-
thought we were working on like the blueprint and stuff.
No, you left him to go eat a sandwich, didn't you?
Yeah, we were eating food and like.
Oh,
hey,
wait,
what-
that was 12 hours ago, though.
Well, that was more like 6 hours ago.
Okay,
They
well,
eat
to
very
be fair, I
slowly.
was showing him the schematics on like the psionic pacifier. And I don't know about you, but two scientists whose whole thing is about excessive experimentation, there is a chance because you'd either be working on that with me or it would be more on Algockley. I feel like that's a 50-50 roll right there.
We're gonna do a 50-50 roll.
Yeah.
50 or below, he's with you. 51 or above, he is not. He is with you when you get that call.
The dice have spoken.
I see. Mind if I tag along?
It
Dice
doesn't
roll.
make any difference to me, but that
Perfect.
is entirely up to the captain whether you're part of this conversation.
Did he say I shouldn't come along?
He also didn't say you should, so don't play that game with me, sir.
Everyone can pick out the details, but I might as well tag along, you know? See how it happens.
No harm so far, but we'll see how things go.
Okay.
All right. So they're gonna get on the turbo lift. It's gonna be the same one that Calvo is already on, so it's gonna be all three of you on the turbo lift. So they're gonna catch the elevator, listen to some music on the way up. So you'll arrive at the bridge, and so Crystal, you're going to see Fish there with Calvo and Detrone.
Detrone, Calvo. To your right,
Captain,
Dr. Fish. No.
What?
They do not need your expertise for this endeavor.
Why?
Because the person that they need to talk to does not speak your language.
They do. Okay, who are they?
You've met them before and they don't get along with you.
Again, do you know how little that narrows that down?
Maybe there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It is a daily event.
Like, maybe there's a reason that there's a large number of people who don't get along with you.
Yes, they all happen to be wrong.
Of
Well,
course.
don't you have experiments to tend to, though?
Yes, and he's my assistant, so I was gonna
Uh,
just keep
you
talking
can-
about it with him.
You can do your experiments without your assistant for now. We will
Fine.
return him as soon as he's finished.
I'll see if I can add a cation setting to that little thing. I mumble that.
Do I hear it, though?
I mean, it was intentionally meant to be heard mumbling.
So then I'll just say, and what was that, Doctor?
I said maybe I should add a cation setting to the thing.
And what
Bye.
thing would that be?
I closed the elevator door.
Beautiful.
So then I turn to Sorab. Is that something I should be worried about?
It's definitely something security should know about.
Okay.
I know what I'm talking about, and I could very well make that roll, but I won't.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess Calvo and Detroit are going to go into the conference room. We're going to dial up the Secretary of Science. So, gonna screen's going to turn on. It's her lab, of course. You're just going to see her back working on something and say, "All right, which one of you 4 idiots is calling me this time?"
The 5th. I'm not there. Don't listen to me.
Remember,
Campbell will say, definitely not me this time.
I'm gonna mute myself.
gonna turn around and go, "How in God's name did you get this connection?"
Bathroom stall.
They don't know. Crystal never told them.
Which is probably good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to keep
Plausible
all of the
deniability.
council members alive.
Plausible deniability.
Campbell's just sort of like twitching his, antenna back and forth and sort of just watching the funny faces.
All right, so out of game, Chris, I like you to take most of the dialogue because I don't want it to be primarily me talking to myself. So Detroit will
okay.
interject as necessary, but this isn't me having fun by myself.
Oh, dang it.
No.
Hey, we're
that's
trying.
not for free anyway.
Yeah,
I'm
out of
not, I'm
character, what
not
are we
playing
trying to
with myself on camera. I'm sorry.
Whoa, not that type of stream.
I know, right?
Mhm.
Going
We're
right
in the wrong
along.
category.
We do not want to violate the TOS. I'm not talking about the original series.
Oh, those old scientists.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So what are we're trying to convince the scientists to help us stop the planet from crashing?
Yes. So you had been briefed on all exactly what you're trying to do. So don't worry.
Crystal explicitly told you to gaslight her into being our ally. I just see Tim laughing silently.
All right. So she just asked, "How the hell did you get this number?"
And I'll say, well, you should know by now. We know how to surprise you. We're here to try to save you guys.
Oh, I did not feel like that. Okay, fine. What do you need? But if this is a prank call, I will find you and melt your skin.
No. I remember those prank calls from that old show called The Simpsons, and this has not been over. Don't worry.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Get to the point.
Yep. Your Tavar is going to crash. It's falling out of orbit really quickly, and we're trying to stop that from happening so you guys don't lose your planet. Did I
Wait,
say that right?
Tavar,
That makes
they're
sense.
falling out of orbit. Wait, they're in a decaying orbit?
Yes,
Well,
they
that's not
are.
their planet.
And I'll share some of the data with her that we've got about it.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. So what am I supposed to do about it?
We need you and your brightest minds to help us save the day. Throw that science as a hero. Engineering saves everything. You know these folks.
All right, we're gonna do a roll for that. Let's see. We're gonna go. All right, Calvo, Chris. Looking at your sheet. This is gonna be a charisma and negotiation diplomacy roll. So the average of that you're rolling it's a 35.
Oof, not my strong suit. I'll throw a Hail Mary up there.
You got this.
It'll probably be like a 99, and she'll hang up on
Believe
me.
in yourself.
I believe in myself. I don't believe in my dice rolls.
Hey!
look at
Oh!
that.
Hey,
Well played,
yeah.
sir.
can do it.
Believe.
He was
Guess-
building suspense. That's what he was. He was like, "Yeah, I got this. I just want to."
I know you
sound
fudged
good.
the dice, but I don't care. It's fun. Okay. You hacked it. I know you hacked roll 20.
I
can tell.
engineered it.
It's-
That roll only goes up to 28. You know,
Right.
It's just a bunch.
Oh,
of
is that a
28s.
D28? Okay. She's gonna pause a second.
D29.
Okay. Pause a second. Say. Huh. Okay. Well. Saving the people. That's not really what's important. But you said to make science the hero. You say. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That could get me more funding.
Oh, I'm sure you get unlimited funding.
Okay. So what? Is this a clean sheet project? I'm supposed to figure this out myself, or what you got?
I would say, hey, we're here. We're at your disposal to help you with anything we've got, and I'll share all the information that we've put together ourselves related to this issue.
Okay, so
Give her a
will,
starting
the-
point.
And the plan, right?
the plan will be on those, I suppose, right?
Yeah, 'cause we had two
Uh,
teams. We wanted two teams on that. Which one was the see if we could do the Shepherd Planet thing, and the other one was come up with a better idea than the Shepherd Planet thing.
Okay, so that'll be on the information that
Yeah.
Chris gives her. She'll look at it and go, huh. So a shepherd planet. Look at the specs and be like, wait, so you want to do this with a planet 5 times the size of Terra 2?
Yep.
Are you off
Those are
your
the-
rocker?
Oh yeah, I've been told that since I was a kid.
The wormhole device is designed for a planet up to the mass of Terra 2. It would take years of redevelopment to make it be something that can take a 5 Terra mass planet.
Joke's on you. You're not a protagonist.
Nice. It's like, okay. Looking over it. I can appreciate what you're trying to do. Yeah, this would be a good opportunity to test the thing. Once they get it.
Mm-hmm. And I sort of reaffirm this is our starting point, but we're obviously open to all possible ideas.
Best I can do is a planet 1.5 magnitudes, and that's pushing it, and that's going to run a hell of a risk of burning stuff out even worse. Because, I mean, think of it this way. We're trying to build a wormhole designed for something the size of a baseball. You're asking us to shove a beach ball through it. Doesn't quite work that way.
Unless we could deflate the beach ball a little bit.
She's going to stop a second. What if? Okay. I'll call you back on this line. I'm just going to hang up.
Okay.
Just didn't even let you say goodbye. Just hung up.
I was about to say, actually, that kind of makes sense because if a
I like
wormhole
where this is going.
ripping up
Yeah.
time and space, you could probably like alter mass that goes through it to a degree,
Well,
right?
no. Because the thing is, we don't need a planet that's 5 times the size of Tavar. We need a planet that's 5 times the mass, or Terra 2. We need a planet that's 5 times the mass of Terra 2. And so it doesn't even have to be a planet, a neutron star.
That
You get
Yes.
you can get that mass in something the size of New York City.
Would that burn a hole? Would that cause like another global warming problem for the planet, or would that be okay?
It all depends on placement, but I'm sure it'd be fine. But listen, if it's that mass, then no, it shouldn't. That'd be too small to cause that type of issue.
What if we just made like okay, so the decaying orb is because I'm just trying to think about it like scientifically. It means that there's kinetic energy pushing it into the sun, like relatively
It's
speaking.
gravity
right?
pulling it in.
Gravity, okay, but like it's because of how close it is, right?
It's because of
Proximity.
it's because of its speed and trajectory relative to the star. So all an orbit is that you're falling towards an object and missing, and constantly missing. What they're doing is they're going slow enough and shallow enough that within like a year they won't miss.
So my guess is I'm kind of wondering if we applied enough like general kind of force, could we reorient its orbit, right? Because that's effectively what we're trying to do with the extra planet. Is to basically send it so it can kind of realign its orbit and stabilize it. Could we just make a? I mean, it sounds stupid because I'm saying it, but if we just made like a gravity bomb or something like that, just like alters its like basically just something that can create a gravity well that pulls it further away from the planet just enough to realign it into a new orbit that's stable, would that also work? And I'm just saying, like, would it, if we could make something that could, push it, like kind of pull it away, kind of like, like stabilizing it, like kind of like the counterbalance for like a minute, and that kind of changes trajectory from going towards the sun into just a stable orbit, would that be a viable alternative posed to everybody in the crew specifically?
I defer to people smarter than me.
Tim,
You're the smart guy.
I play a smart guy. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Would that be?
No.
Wouldn't that?
Well
I'm just
played,
because
Jake.
I think that would also be a viable backup plan, right?
Theoretically,
In theory, because I mean,
So the issue is,
what would you
So-
use?
well, no, the issue isn't whether or not it would work. It very much could work. The problem is that something like a gravity bomb does all of the gravity that you need at once, which means
Okay.
two things. One, you need actually a larger amount of gravity being exerted for it to work, because it has to do all of the work in one moment. And two, it's much more traumatic on the planet itself.
simple.
Any strain that comes from it is going to be greatly increased. So the Shepherd Planet idea was because it can do it in a way that doesn't disrupt the actual tectonics of the planet.
Very simple solution. We make it so it doesn't have those issues.
That's not how it's like difference
Well,
between
That
trying
was a simple
to,
solution. How you accomplish that is much more
It's
complicated.
the
Yeah.
difference.
Hold on.
It's the difference.
Why don't we
between-
just fix all the problems then?
Well,
Make
no,
it
I
go
actually,
away.
I have so I can go into the greater details.
If the
of-
GM can speak for a moment.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's the difference between changing lanes by doing it gently or by jerking the wheel over.
So what I was thinking was, what if
Inertia
instead of making a
dampeners.
gravity bomb, I made like a gravity snare? Because you know how like tractor beams work?
Mhm.
What if I made it so that I could kind of just like set something in space instead of like a giant gravity pull that like, or just like sends out a massive wave? Maybe I can kind of get it to where like, oh yeah, I can do it like this. What if I put it? I think magnets, because I can't think of it any other way. We build a gravity device that applies like force, like a repellent force between the sun and the planet, kind of like push them away from each other, kind of like a stabilizing gravity unit, like a spring. That kind of, like, it could apply gravitational push to prevent the two from colliding. And it wouldn't have to be all at once. It could be at a more gradual, stabilizing amount. The device would have to be crazy, but again, we're working on the same level of wormhole slingshotting planet. So I feel like gravity spring isn't that convoluted. I'm just saying, can I put the gravity spring like as a kind of like stabilizing cushion?
It's
as, like,
certainly
a
something we could add to the
possible
list of
Okay,
possibilities.
because I could work on that. I mean, on top of Algocli, just because I'd prefer to have that as another fallback plan rather than, oops, we failed. I guess they're dead in 6 months.
Question.
I mean, there is a whole
The-
team.
The main problem with Fish's gravity bomb
Like,
idea.
gravity spring. We switched the name.
No, the original one.
Okay. Cool.
The main problem with that was the impact on the planet.
Mhm.
But that impact would be the same as if a ship tried to come out of warp before, like, as if they were coming out of warp without the warp bubble. Like, that sudden stop without the inertia dampeners. Right?
I mean, it's
So-
pseudoscience, so it's hard to nail down exactly.
Well, yeah, but if it's that sudden movement of the planet that is the problem, then talking like a massive undertaking here. But if you were able to create the same technology that is the inertia dampeners on your starships, would be a similar, that would work, wouldn't it?
Build like a
to-
planetary dampener.
Yeah, a planetary inertia dampener.
So we could still do gravity load.
So that it would separate what the inertia from outside the planet from the inside of the atmosphere. So that it would still move, but they wouldn't feel it. I know, I'm talking crazy.
I think it's pretty reasonable.
But the real question is, how long would it take to build something like
Not
that?
very long. All we need is a MacGuffin, which is the what's that material that we're using again that we can only get on Gehenna?
Denzite.
Unobtainium. No?
Yeah, denzite. All we need is some denzite, and we can build everything we need. If it works off of wormhole logic, it'll work off of gravity logic. That, or I can make a meat-based supplement, but no one else wants to entertain the idea.
Of course not.
Just
Okay, as all of that has been happening, the Secretary of Science is going to get back to the Trone and Calvo. Come up and say, alright, so this is a simple problem of mass. You need something that generates enough mass to have a gravitational pull in order to pull the other planet back into a stable orbit, correct?
Correct.
Alright, so you don't need the entire planet. You just need enough of the planet in order to exert that much mass. And also, all of that mass, that planet does not have to come through at the same time.
I'm gonna say yeah, theoretically that is correct.
Alright. So, the deflating a beach ball idea made me think, well, you can't deflate a planet, but you can certainly don't have to take the entire thing at once. So yeah, if we could just break a planet in half, which that's a whole other undertaking. That
Correct.
actually
Just
would
alter
take a
the
long time.
parameters of space-time. You're good.
this is great. They're gonna invent planet destruction technology. That's definitely not gonna have any negative consequences.
in a war.
Or she's gonna run some numbers a second to say. Or how about a whole asteroid belt just compressed together? Save the work of destroying it in the first place.
Cavill raises an eye. Ooh, that sounds like a good idea.
So I know a very conveniently placed asteroid belt that I think we can make work. Okay. Alright. Let my team run with this, considering it's like our wormhole device, obviously. But, yeah.
Yeah, Calvo salutes and says, "If we anything we can do, we're here for you."
Okay. We might need more densite. Contact the wormhole people. I'm not sure what's happening there. I got a memo at some point. I didn't read it. It said something about densite. It's not. I guess it's important now, but whatever. Just talk to them. All right. I'll. Yeah. Bye. Just hangs up.
I'll say, "There you go, Captain."
How long would it, just a tripper, how long would it take us to go to Gehenna and back? More or less than 6 months?
Oh, far less. Far less.
That sounds like a lot.
Let's
You're
see.
forgetting one thing.
Yes.
The Gehenna is occupied and controlled by the Ardestians. The Ardestians that hate humans with a burning red passion.
Good thing you're a Cation.
Yes,
Nice.
but they recognize our ship as human-made.
Okay, I got this crazy idea.
We are not slapping cat ears on the ship.
No, that's
They're
not.
quiet up.
It's completely out of the blue, random idea. But if we cover our ship in synthetic meat, we can make them think it's one of their ships by masking it in there. We culture some of their ship's meat, and we cover our ship in it, so they think that we're just another one
The
of their
ships aren't covered in meat.
They're made of organic matter. That's meat enough for me.
No. There's so many problems with it.
What, you don't want to pull like a Silence of the Lambs with a ship?
All right, at warp 9, it takes 17.5 days to get to Gehenna.
I guess we should call the wormhole people and see if they actually need more densite. I'm assuming for the plot they probably do, but that's just a guess on my part.
Well, and to find out if the theory about the synthetic densite actually worked.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Also, Captain, I was working on a possibility of negotiating with the what's that alien race called again?
Which, the Reds? The Ardestians?
Yeah. The Ardestians. I was working on a process of possibly negotiating with the Ardestians to provide densite on the grounds of getting the parents out of their galaxy and out of their hair.
And how successful have you been?
Well, basically, I need to get records from our ships that have made contact with Ardestians, and I need to get clearance to get the Ardestian I was talking to be able to communicate with his people for their records of encounters with Terran vessels. In order to, that's kind of the last hurdle to establish meaningful communication that could lead to that result.
Okay.
Now, this is not. I'm not saying that I have a solution on hand. This would open up the possibility of talking to the Ardestian leadership, the Queen, and beginning the process of making this case all over again.
Yeah. But currently, their feelings toward us and the rest of the Cochrans is
They don't associate us with
shoot
the
on sight.
Cochrans.
They don't associate us with the Cochrans? I thought they assumed that we were with the Cochrans.
When I was talking to the Ardestian, it seemed to recognize a distinction between us and the Terrans.
Okay.
That were a new arrival that was speaking with the Terrans and had previous connection to the Terrans, like pre-established relationship with the Terrans, but that we were not part of their culture that arrived here and has been here for 140 years.
Okay.
There seems to be some amount of understanding of that.
Because the one thing that I'm worried about is if we do allow the one you were talking to connect back with the rest of its people, what repercussions there may be, like them appearing out of the blue and just blindsiding us.
I mean, they'd have to already be here to appear out of the blue like that. And I don't think that opening up those communications is going to like reveal a location. They already know where Terra 2 is. They already know where Tavar is.
Yeah. I mean, if they already have the information, there's no harm in opening up a communication, I guess.
Okay. We'll probably want to, be involved in monitoring that, as much conversation as much as we can. And we probably don't want to do it right where the Terrans are watching us do it.
No. I mean, even if we did, like,
we haven't even told them we have any Ardestians.
Well, even if we were in orbit around Terra 2, the form of communication that they use, the Terrans can't even really detect, can they?
I don't want to assume we know what they can and can't detect.
True.
We have pretty good reason to believe that they can't intercept the message.
Yeah.
But whether or not they can detect it is another matter.
All right. Were we headed to the space station that they had with the Densite and stuff, or were we just calling them?
I think that's your call.
Yeah, I think it's yours. But before we go, I'd like to talk to the Terrans to discuss getting those records and explain some of the stuff we learned about the Ardestian perspective on this.
Go for it. I trust my diplomat wholeheartedly.
All right. While he's going to decide where we're going as a ship, I want to go ahead and reach out to I'm going to call down to the president's secretary or the president's office.
Okay. All right, so not the person you called earlier, because that was the secretary for the whole council.
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with. You don't want to talk to Dolores.
I don't mind talking to Dolores, but it goes so much better if you're in person and can set the gin on the desk.
Something like that. All right, so you're calling the secretary for the president.
Yes.
Steve.
Secretary's office. Yeah, the president's office. Whoever answers there,
All right.
basically.
All right, so it's gonna go. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da. Hello, this is the secretary for the president's office, Margaret. How can I direct your call?
Hi, my name is Lieutenant Commander Sorab on the Starship Lexington from the recent arrival from the Milky Way.
Oh,
got
right,
some-
yes, my sister just talked to you guys.
It was a delight. But I also do have a different matter to discuss, which is that we've got intel on the Ardestians. We've been able to crack their logs, and I need to be able to talk to somebody at the council about, how we to report these findings and how it's going to affect the Terran 2 existence in this sector.
So you said that you found some intelligence on the Ardestians? Who's that?
The red aliens.
Oh, the Reds. Oh, I hate them. Okay. So you have some intelligence on them, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
That sounds like something for the Secretary of Intelligence office. I will transfer you over to them.
Thank you.
Bleach blonde hair and a perm.
You have a lovely
blonde
day, sweetie.
fingernails,
And
a
yourself.
pearl necklace. I see that when I think of this voice.
And visually, it's just Dolly Parton. Like,
Oh, jeez. All right. Hello, this is the Office of the Secretary of Intelligence. This is Francis speaking. How may I help you?
Hi, this is the Lieutenant Commander Sorab from the Starship Lexington.
Oh, yes, my sister Dottie told me about you. How are you doing, sweetie?
Doing
They
great.
talked about it over bridge.
I like to think all three are sitting right next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one's laughing her ass off right
Yeah.
now. She's just like,
they're
transfer
all
him
in
back
on
to me. Transfer him back to me.
Yeah.
That's how they get entertained.
Did she mention that we have intel on one of the alien races that your planet has been contending with for this sector?
No, I talked to her, God, a few hours ago. I heard nothing about this.
Dottie would be
Okay.
Dolores.
Yeah, that's why I was transferred over to you. Was to inform the Secretary of Intelligence what we've learned,
All right.
or to schedule a meeting, hopefully very soon, to do that.
So what information you have there, sweetheart?
I'm sure you understand that this type of information is supposed to be is only supposed to be shared with people that the Secretary orders it to be shared with.
Oh, I understand, sweetie. I have top secret clearance here, though. I mean, working in this office, I kind of have to. Can you at least tell me what it's about, if not the details?
It's about the Ardestian. That's the name of that alien race. It's about their technology, history, and view of the war.
All right. Wow, that's interesting. All right. The line's going to click, and then suddenly you're going to hear, "This is Secretary of Intelligence. You have what information?"
Information on the We've unlocked the Ardestian data core that we got from the battle we had with them, and we're able to learn some information about how they view Terra, how they view the history between the Terra 2 and their own empire, and their goals and possibilities. The possibility of how we would approach a peaceful resolution if possible.
All right. And what have you learned?
I've learned that their entire view of this war is based around the first contact with the
Mars.
With the Mars. Their first contact with the Mars. That I believe could be straightened out with logs from that encounter from the Mars data. The means that I was using to interact with it was very interactive. And so I was able to kind of engage and discuss this matter. And I do believe that having those logs to show the accuracy of what the Mars reports having encountered in that situation and the misunderstanding related to the ship that they initially attacked, along with logs that show any logs that we have that show attempts at peaceful communication with that race, would strengthen the case that there has been attempts made against violent activity, and which could open the door to discussion about intentions with the war.
All right.
We also know that their primary means of communication is psionic. This was part of how we were able to unlock the data core, and that this is probably why the initial hails from the Mars didn't go through, is that they literally didn't have the means to receive the frequencies that we were transmitting in.
All right. What else did you learn about them?
As I said, they are called the Ardestians. They operate under the authority of a queen. As it stands right now,
out of character, that's an empress, or empress.
Empress, yes, under the authority of an empress. As their current view on the war is a genocidal one. This is because their understanding of what happened with the Mars was an affront to their honor, and they are seeking to avenge their honor. But I believe that if we can show them a different perspective on what happened with that and alter their view of how it impacts their honor, we can get them to stop on that path and consider alternatives.
Pause a second, say. All right. So, lay out for me specifically what it is you're requesting of me.
The logs from the Mars, when they encountered the colony ship that they fired upon, the Ardestian log showed as a colony ship. I would need to be able to demonstrate attempt at communication and the power spike, the signature that they picked up that caused them to open fire. And if we have, I don't know how many other encounters your ships have had with their race in which you tried to initiate communications before hostilities began. But if there are any records of those, I believe they would only strengthen our case.
All right. Now, Tim, that's going to be a charisma and negotiation diplomacy roll.
Okay, that is
60. It's 74 and 77.
Yeah. So 76 I'm rolling against.
Okay.
Come on. 43.
43. Send a pause and go. All right. I can't say that I wouldn't be willing to share this with you. However, I work under the premise of exchange. I would be willing to share this information with you, assuming that I can get what information you gleaned from their data core.
I'll have to run that by the people who actually have that data. I've been engaging with I talked to the captain, right, to get clearance to share that information.
That would go through the captain, yes.
Yeah. I'll have to run that by the captain. I'm sure he'll be amenable to the idea. And I will definitely... Let me go ahead and call him now, in fact. I'm going to go ahead and, or with the thing, I guess. Call Crystal. So I need clearance. So in order to get this information that I need from the Terran Secretary of Intelligence, I'm going to need to exchange it for information that we got from the Ardestian Data Core. The data we got from the Ardestian Data Core. I'll mute the call so that the intelligence guy doesn't hear it. This.
Why would you mute us?
Did you hear that, Matt?
Not really.
Okay, I'm requesting to send the information we got from the data core to the Terrans
In exchange for
the information that the logs that I need to prove our point to the Ardestians.
Okay. So the information from the data core, yes, but make sure that not the information we got from the actual Ardestian.
Right. Okay. There is historical data in the data core, right?
yes, it is
Yes.
like their
Yeah.
their history.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, good. So I'm going to go back to so I'm going to hang up on the captain. I'll unmute and inform him. I did receive clearance for that. So I will go ahead and send that now. That should be on its way to you.
All right. Very
Now,
well.
what this is, I should clarify. These are transcripts that we made from the data core. As I said, the way the data core operates is very psionic. We happen to have some some species on this ship that were able to facilitate communication with the psionic core easier. And so this is our transcript of the data we pulled out. This is if we sent the data directly, it would be in a format that is prohibitively difficult for humans to directly engage with.
Well, I'm sure that you and your people did your best. All right. It's going to take a bit of time for my people to compile all of the data that you are requesting, of course.
Of course.
Not something I exactly have right here, but we will get that to you as soon as we are.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Secretary of Intelligence out. Alright, so that exchange happened. In the meantime,
Alright.
Skippy was going to decide whether we were just going to call the wormhole people or go there.
Well, I figured that Calvo could call them while Sorab was talking to the secretaries.
Okay, alright. Calvo. Yes, multiple secretaries.
Yes, ring ring.
Time management.
Yes, time management. Alright, let me pull up this dude again. So many people. Now it's in here somewhere. Okay. There's really no way to get to work to. There's really no way to organize this well. Let's see. All right.
So the secretaries have secretaries. I just wanted
Yes.
a point of order.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Are they referred? What does their plaque say on their desk? It's like a secretary of the secretary. of the
Administrative
secretary?
assistant.
Yes.
No.
Vice secretary.
Administrative
Administrative
Vice
assistant to the Secretary of Intelligence. Basically. They still call themselves secretaries, though, because they're old-fashioned.
Secretaries to the second.
Sex secretaries.
Cubed. Secretary Cubed of the Interior.
Get it? Second.
Second Aries.
There it is. Ingalls. All right. So
I still think it's one lady just screwing with everyone that calls, and she's like, "Oh, Rosetta told me about you. You're hilarious." You know, like that type of stuff.
That or it's a Pokemon like
never ever
Miss
know.
Jenny
No.
situation.
It's just like
They've been
there's no
cloning secretaries. No one knows. It's a whole.
Hey, the clone theory is still out there. Their population got really big in 100 years.
Well, I mean, this
They've cloned
they
it.
left before the cloning ban.
No, they didn't.
You mean to tell me
Sorry,
the Cochrans have been cloning
genetic
the same
engineering
secretary
ban.
over again, and they just don't realize that they're
Okay,
the same
no, the
person?
gen-
What
genetic
was- can you
engineering
tell me
ban-
What their population
Hold on.
is again?
The genetic engineering ban happened in the 1990s.
But
Really?
but
Yeah,
that was in the
eugenics
Milky Way
wars.
galaxy. It doesn't extend this far.
Ripper.
Yeah.
They're the same person.
Jurisdiction.
Yeah. Can you tell me the general like population size of T2? Like how many?
Oh, we're
what's-
referring to as T2 nowadays. That's awesome.
I just call it that. Terra 2. What's the general population? Because I think I really got to do. And then tell me how many people were on the original crew, because I need to do the math on how many kids.
Okay.
Like,
It was a colony fleet.
Rabbits. They're all really worked up when they got out of
because it's either
hypersleep.
cloning or genetic modification or something. If the numbers are like really high.
I
All
don't
of them are
know.
Octomoms galore.
Well, I'm gonna try and do like, well, you know, if it takes about 9 months for a kid to be born, and that has to be calculated 140 years. So if assuming they could probably have like 20 kids.
Okay.
each.
So here's the number.
They can mass produce them. They've cut down on the time. It's
Assuming
like-
you don't have like.
in fairness, they
triplets.
do teleporting cesarean sections, so like there's precedent for that.
All right. Now the colony now has over 1 million people.
1 million.
Uh,
What was the original? What was the original population?
Let's see.
But also, you don't know
Uh,
how many ladies there are to guys. Right?
I know. That's what I'm just gonna say.
Like,
So there's, I would say split it. so, like,
900,000 of
half
them are women.
Approximately 50,000.
50,000. Sorry, wait. 50,000.
What?
Oh, the original crew. Okay, so the
No,
original amount was
the original number that showed up
Oh.
was 50,000 people.
so 50,000 times.
I feel like that's a reasonable number, or over about 4 generations.
So I'm
They
looking
all
at
had
my
like 4 kids. They all had like
I'm-
4 or 5 kids.
I'm looking at my family tree, and my family had people from 6 generations ago alive 140 years ago. So that's not unrealistic.
Yeah, I mean, if they're all having a half dozen kids, like colonists would have, because the frontier people are dropping like flies, so like birth rate's kind of higher because they need people to do the work. So like,
Oh, yeah,
I think
No,
the math is
we didn't account for like mortality rate though,
Har-
especially on like
no,
a
I
brand
think-
new planet.
I think you do like I don't know. I think the math is reasonable. It's in the ballpark.
I
mean-
definitely think they're straining their reproductive like society. Like
Nah,
they definitely
no.
put it. They definitely put in a rule like, okay,
There's people with
you
like
have to
10
have
kids
at
right
least
now.
like
So
6
like,
kids each.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that might be
There
true.
was
it's
might be true.
110 years. They arrived on the planet in 2190, so it's 110.
That's assuming
years.
all of them were fertile and they found a partner, and then they all like were having kids every single year.
because
like,
a large
without
percentage
it-
of that
like-
would have been.
Yeah, but if you go to some cultures, that's happening today on Earth. Like they can,
I know, but
they-
that's like
you know.
all I'm saying is like there have to had been some sort of martial law
I mean,
situation where
just-
kids must have been born like legally, or else you'd be like fined or punished. Otherwise, it's very unrealistic to be like guarantee everyone's having 6 kids, no problem, everyone's perfect, no issues. Like, okay.
I think the bigger problem is that everyone's going to be slightly related to everyone else at some point soon. Of like everyone between marrying and
Oh my
kids,
gosh.
like Those
you
million
imagine
people
this-
are
can you
all
imagine,
in the
like-
same family reunion. I'm just saying.
Here's the thing, like the next generation would have to be significantly bigger than the previous. So like the start, can you imagine like how they built school and like childcare infrastructures on like a brand new colony like civilization?
Yeah, but there's
Like,
plenty
that
of
must-
historical representation of just that. Like, I feel like that's very feasible. It's only recently in first world countries that people's parents to kid ratio is dwindled. But like in the colonist scenario, they're thinking about that.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, they're in a sci-fi future setting, so I just feel like their standards are a bit higher than even modern day. So that would have some factor in how they, they're not like ape man, they're ape people going at it. They're like, they have like morals and like opinions and standards for different people.
Remember, they've been fighting a war for 50 years. So think how many
So-
people have died too.
Like I said, like mandated by law child count.
Right. So
Which is very
that's
not
not-
a good
um,
thing. That's like a
it's not-
very that's kind of a
nah,
bad
it's
thing.
not. It's not
Okay,
though.
if someone came up to
It
you and
is-
said, "You need to have 6 kids, or we're going to fire you,"
Triple.
Well, I also think that if they just
Yeah.
outlawed birth control, like you
I
get
do
higher
think
numbers that way.
we're getting thank you, Matt. We're getting a little bit it's
Into the weeds.
tangential, but definitely into the weeds.
Tribble.
So,
Tribble.
Tribble. Okay, I'll let
Hey,
you
we'll
two
keep
fight
going
this.
with it until
I'll let
until a
the-
triple is thrown.
The brothers will fight this offline.
We'll
that's
talk
fine.
about this on our next Baldur's Gate session.
Yes,
That's right.
please.
That's right.
Make
we
me an
will.
entire session about genealogy and birth rate. I will actually watch it then.
No,
Uh,
we'll just we'll roll a dice.
All right, so Chris Calvo is going to call up the science people. Right. Let's see. Oh damn it! I had it up and then I moved and I left it because I was looking for the other thing. Okay, there it is. All right. All right. So you're going to call up Dr. Engels over at the subspace tunneler, and he's going to say, "Oh, Lexington. Hi. So, did you hear the bad news?"
I'm gonna say no. We haven't heard any news. We heard something about a note to this Minister of Science, but she didn't have time to read it. But I'll ask what's going on.
Well, the artificial denzite has not gone anywhere so far. We've not made much progress. Worse news: a quarter of our denzite supply got destroyed. Yeah.
My antennas droop in sadness.
Apparently, it was an accident. We're still investigating it. The vice director, she made a clerical mistake, and it was disintegrated. A package, literally, the densite was supposed to go here, and it got sent to the matter recycler. Yeah, I'm only laughing because I want to cry. So.
And now mysteriously 999,999.
Wait, what?
You know, I sort of like, I'll tell them, hey, mistakes happen. So what
Tonight's
is
saying
what?
they lynched her.
So I'm gonna say. So I'm assuming that you'll need more denzite in order to continue your work.
Yeah, you would have that correct. We're still going to work on this artificial, but we don't have any idea how long that's going to be. The good news is it's so far not going to delay the repair of the wormhole device, the tunneler. But once we run out of what denzite we do have, it's going to hit a wall. So right now we're estimating that we have enough for about 3 weeks worth of repairs, but then after that, we're just going to kind of be sitting here in our hands. So estimates had been to have the thing up and running in a month, but now that's in jeopardy.
And I sort of reconfirm that the only place they know of to get denzite is on the planet Gehenna. Yeah.
How durable is denzite again? Like significantly more durable than tungsten or something?
Well, it's denser than tungsten.
Dense.
It didn't say how durable.
So
it
if
is.
we just cracked the planet, just blew it up, would we be able to
Just a
find
little.
deposits in the rubble?
Probably.
Okay.
And bodies, but you
A
know,
theoretical question.
like if you
Yeah.
crack the planet open,
I make sure Dr. Fish is on mute, and then
I mean, I'm not gonna. Fish doesn't kill people.
No, he
As
doesn't.
hard as
planet's
that is
cracking
to
in half
believe.
to.
yeah,
Yeah,
just as ideas do.
That's right.
So I'll say, you know, I can speak to, you know, my captain about maybe a trip to try to acquire more densite, though I can't speak to, you know, whether he'll confirm it, but I'll find out how much they would need.
Well, he'll give you the number. I'm not even gonna try to.
Is sort of say like the whole. I'm assuming as much as we can carry, kind of thing.
Yeah, he'll tell you the number, like how many, the mass of how much they need. And he'll say, well, I was assuming that, not barring anywhere else, that we were probably going to wind up sending a task force there ourselves. But it would take them months to get there, and months to get back. But I hear your ship's a little zippier.
Yeah, I think we can roughly do it in a little over 2 weeks, 17 Earth days. But I'll ask, you know, is there anybody on staff or anybody you're aware of that's an expert in finding this densite if we get to the planet that's done this before? You know, that could be sort of like a guide on this expedition.
That would be the vice director. She's, for the screw up she just made, he's going to kind of look over his shoulder. Yeah, she knows more about densite than anyone else in the project. Just not apparently what the difference between a box with Zenzite and a box with recycled materials. Anyhow, yes, her. She would be the person.
Okay. I'll make note of everything that I spoke of with Dr. Ingalls about, and I'll report back to the captain with the information of how much we need, what the status of it is, and that we do have this director that's an expert that we might be able to take with us to help acquire the densite if that's what we decide to do. And that the temporary densite or the artificial densite seems to be not working out so well. And then I'll also give the captain a ball of yarn.
That would probably help right now.
Nice.
It's like a stress ball of yarn.
I can just see him just like, you know, knocking it about.
Alright, so let me think here. Okay. So the expert would be on the station where they're doing the experiments.
Yes, which is about a day's travel.
And
actually, that day's travel puts you slightly closer to Gehenna.
Perfect. And at this point, both conversations are finished, correct?
Yes.
I'm done with mine.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So then while on the way to rendezvous with that scientist, I would have Sorab with the Ardestian try to make after he gets the information from the Secretary of Intelligence to contact you use the Ardestian to contact the Ardestians to try to open up diplomatic whatchamacallit.
Relations.
Yes, that's the word.
Difficult.
Those are the words.
Yes. Okay.
But to open up the door to possibly being able to get more Denzite without having to resort to violence.
Okay. That is entirely an option.
Now,
I agree.
quick side question though. Is Denzite a renewable resource on Gehenna?
It's a mineral.
It's like oil. Yay.
So no, it's when you mine it up.
Denzite Barons of Gehenna.
But it's got a very distinct radioactive signature, so it's not the hardest to detect, from what you can tell. But no, it's like mining diamonds or gold or anything else. You actually have to get it.
Okay. And nothing has been found that has even a close signature to the Denzite.
We went over this
yeah, I had a feeling, but I wanted to refresh my memory.
Yeah. You guys tried to do rolls to recreate it artificially, and those rolls did not work.
Yeah. That's why I tried to make the artificial stuff radioactive using the scraps, but...
Do we ever try to grow Denzite?
As he said, it's a mineral.
Yeah, but you know how like some minerals can be like.
This mineral is closer to uranium, less
so
like
if it has,
geodes.
Well, if it has like an infectious, I'm just saying, maybe if we had some like.
It takes other elements, and a plant synthesizes elements, and a byproduct makes the other elements. Like, just like it intakes oxygen, or excuse me, it intakes CO2 and makes oxygen. Maybe there's a plant version that secretes Denzite.
I was just kind of suggesting we could kind of do the whole oil situation. Like, since we're in the sci-fi future, we could if in the sci-fi future, I imagine you could probably make oil by replicating its production, because it has to be made atomically. So if we could replicate the conditions to make that Denzite is formed under, we could maybe replicate it to produce more, rather than make artificial Denzite. We just make actual Denzite, but we just do it through a controlled environment. That's all I had to say.
Is that a question for me, or was that what's?
Well, I was just saying, we could try that too if we want to try. Because everyone knows I'll just try to make a meat alternative. So.
Of course you are.
Hey, when in doubt, meat it out.
There are currently no alternatives other than trying to negotiate or just straight up attacking Gehenna and stealing it.
Don't forget the psionic pacifier. That could be useful.
Jeez.
It's better than a brain hemorrhage beam.
Well, all that conversation's going to be happening, but your guys are going to be on your way towards the space station, and that conversation happening. Actually, just left Terra 2. Actually, no, you're about to leave Terra 2. You're about to leave Terra 2. You are going to get a call from the Cochrane, the Captain Blevins that you know better.
The Captain Blevins.
The female Captain Blevins.
Okay,
from the
not
Cochrane, yes.
the other one.
Not the other one. No, we don't talk about him.
Okay, good.
So, your Hale's coming in.
Yep. I'll nod to him to put it up
Okay, so now it's Captain Crystal. How are you doing today?
Well, I was hoping for some better news from somewhere, but that hadn't happened yet.
Well, um, sounds like this is bad timing to do this, but you need to know. Yeah, I'm just gonna show you, and she's gonna put up an image, and it's a Lestrin scout ship that has basically been blown in half. No, it's not Lestrin. Foreign scout ship that's been blown in half, or a blue scout ship that's been blown in half.
Is there any intact technology?
Some, but that's not what's important about this
What
one.
was the people
Where
on
was
board?
it?
This has the same signature as the one that escaped with your senior staff. And before you ask, no, there's no indication of anyone alive inside. This was discovered by one of our scout ships this morning.
Can we tell how old when it happened?
It looks like it happened sometime within the last 24 hours.
Okay.
It's propaganda. They're
Body.
trying to tell us our crew's dead. It's a
No
lie.
one's dead until you see the body. That's the rule.
Do you see a body of a captain flying around?
Were there any corpses?
There's
Loose
some
or otherwise?
there's some that are just so badly charred we can't tell what they used to be.
You can still do a DNA test.
Human, blue, or whatever. They're just, some are disintegrated. Like, we don't know. It looks like the warp core went off, and yeah. So a lot of it was just straight up vaporized.
If you can't see a body, you can't confirm they're dead. Can't see a body, you can't confirm they're dead. It's the #1 rule of every movie and TV show. Can't confirm anyone's. The people that are, I mean, there's definitely dead bodies, but they're not important because, you know, they're not, like, named characters.
Okay. Is there a way we could, I could have our doctor firsthand examine the corpses from that ship?
Yeah, yeah, we definitely could do that for you. We have to. You'd have to go, obviously, meet up with the with our ship that picked them up, but yeah,
It's a crime scene. Don't touch a thing. Put
I
the little
mean,
tape
if
up
you-
around it.
If you want, they could just, like kind of just scoop up all the body parts in a net and then just kind of, like, just, like, send, like, a drop pod or, like, a morgue ship with all the body parts
Okay.
siphon through.
well,
Siphon.
what our ship's doing, it's literally gathering up all the debris that it can and is bringing it back to Terra 2 for analysis. But you're more than welcome to meet them on the way and have your own look at it.
Yes. Because that means I am sitting in this chair a lot longer than I thought I would.
Looks like you got another promotion, Crystal, and it's
Good news. Promotion. Bad
bad
news.
news.
You let your boss die.
She's gonna say, "My deepest condolences, Captain Crystal. No, this isn't the kind of news you were hoping for. It's not the news I was hoping for either. I'd quite like to meet the captain, the other captain of this interesting ship of yours."
Yeah, you can definitely say it's interesting. Alright, well, I guess I better tell our doctor both good and bad news. Because he loves him some alien zoology.
That's a lot more morbid than I think you meant it, but well,
That's how our doctor
Zoology.
is. Unfortunately, that is how our doctor is.
You
from what
tell
I've
me.
learned about the man a little bit, yeah, that checks out. All right, well, wish I had better news for you, but that's about all I can do right now.
Thank you for telling us.
You're welcome. Cochrane out. I think that's a good time for a commercial break, meaning it's the end of the session.
Yeah.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week to find out what the hell's going on.
Yep.
So, all right.
And then
Hmm?
after that, I would just tell Fish what's going on and then have us rendezvous with them.
Okay. That's going to take a few days because they were. Well, next week we'll get to exactly where they found that ship, and then where you're going to rendezvous with the other
Yep.
ship. So, but that is something not for today.
Nope.
All that's left for today is for Tim to do the thing that Tim does so well.
And then I will probably do slightly less well today because my headache has been kicking.
Still do it better than me.
So we do. Rabbit Haberdashery is a team built around Extra Life. We raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and that's why we play these games and put them on stream. So we would encourage you to check out our team page, which Eric has kindly posted in the chat already. So it's visible right down here, or over there if you're actually in chat right now. Check that out. Help us help kids. Go to the roster tab on that page, and you can pick any one of our pages to donate through. We don't get any of that money. Extra Life's kind of staff doesn't get any of that money. All of it goes to the hospital that you are donating to. Most of us are supporting. Yeah, all of us here are supporting different hospitals. I'm supporting Boston Children's Hospital. Matt is supporting the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughter. It's Rady in San Diego, right?
Yes.
Eric, and
Supporting
then
Rady Children's Hospital.
in San Diego, and then Oshai in Buffalo is being supported by Chris, and Cornless is supporting Bay State Children's Hospital. So we would encourage you to check any of those out. Help us help the kids there. The money goes to treatment, it goes to supplies, it goes to entertainment, so the kids can be kids while they're in the hospital. So we would encourage you to check that out. Help us out. Help us help the kids with that stuff. And also, if you want to pick a different charity to help out and still support this channel, you can use this link to go to the Humble Bundle partner page, where any Humble Bundles you get going through that page, you get to designate some of the money that you pay to Humble Bundle to go to a charity of your choice, and you get to designate some of the money to come to supporting this channel and helping us do stuff. So please consider that as an alternative if for some reason you want to explore other charities other than Extra Life. Speaking of Extra Life, though, we will have our game day coming up in memoriam. We'll be doing the in memoriam story, New World Order, on November 4th and 5th. 12 hours a day, so check back here for that. In the meantime, Sunday we have in memoriam the offline group. We're going to be doing the Mount Doom story this Sunday. Next week on Monday we have Pathfinder continuing, Anders March story. Tuesday I'm going to be reviewing a game. No one has put in a payment or request for a specific game, so I'll be picking if that doesn't change by Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be more of the Two Brothers Gaming. You're down to what, like 4 villains now?
Yeah, we're close.
Yes, yeah. So we have one slated for next week, and then we have 3 other villains. Actually, Citizen Dawn is slated for next week, and then we have 3 more on the wheel before we go up against Oblivion. So we're in the final hours.
Getting real close to that special event as well. And then they're entertaining what they're discussing alternatives for what to do after the battle with Oblivion as well to get at that show. And then next Thursday, go ahead. Did you decide already?
Well, we're kind of set. I think we're gonna probably do a Baldur's Gate 3 run.
Yes, we are doing a Baldur's Gate 3 run. It's Rabbit and Haberdashery Is Road to Baldur's Gate theme. Rabbit being a half orc barbarian and Haberdashery being a gnome rogue.
Nice.
Those videos will be posted later this week on the YouTube station, but that's already
First
It's
one might be a
already in
little
progress.
choppy.
yeah. The first one's a little choppy because we insisted on ultra graphic settings, and maybe that wasn't wasn't the smartest move
No,
for some people that have
toasters.
PCs, yeah, toasters, powered toasters. But we got all that fixed, so it's great. It's good times.
Awesome. I actually was finally convinced to add Baldur's Gate 3 to my wish list on Steam.
Good.
So,
It
hopefully
is
I'll get
just
Join
it
us.
fairly soon.
Join us, Tim.
Join
Chris,
us.
Chris, we already talked about this. Chris, I'm expecting a special guest, and then it's an open invite to anyone here that's got Baldur's Gate 3 and wants to make a character. The rules are you make a custom character, don't use one of the preset
You kind of
ones.
have to, I think.
I would only I never use preset characters.
I mean, they have them, but yeah, make your own character. But yeah, and there's a barbarian and a rogue, so you can, I guess you could do another barbarian and rogue, but you know. Anyways, it's gonna be good times. It's already good times. It's already chaotic.
Awesome. Incidentally, the Extra Life event will be the conclusion of In Memoriam. So that's going to be us putting that story to bed, and the offline group is going to start a Paleo Mythic campaign. We have not discussed whether or not that's going to be streamed or not. Streamed once that happens. There's going to be some new people, so we have to discuss whether or not they're cool with that. But I have information about that coming up soon. But so that's through Wednesday. Next Thursday, we'll be doing this again. Star Trek Lexington, Last of the Line. So make sure to join us for as many of those things as interest you.
Yes, please do. We're fascinating people. We love entertaining you. For the kids. It's all for the kids. It really is. Also, before I forget, great job, everyone. Point for everyone, including for Eric and Coinless, who really didn't barely do anything this whole session. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? We talked a lot about,
True.
I heckled pretty well. Come on now.
As
That's
long
something.
as you're satisfied with heckling,
I didn't roll for my heckles though, so I don't know how they landed.
I could have done something, but I mean, like, hey, I was relegated by party decision.
Yes.
It wasn't that I wasn't offering. It was that everyone wanted me to just relax the session because I'm too useful. That's why.
Oh, nice.
I would
Well
have
played,
contributed
sir. Well
too
played.
Way to spin that one.
I'm too pivotal to the plot. That's why I can't be there all the time.
Something like that. Well, anyhow, I think it's time to call it a night. I'm going to go back to the existential dread of being semi-homeless. Thanks, Housefire.
I think that's just normal dread. I don't think that's existential dread.
Well, true. Well,
don't have the existential crisis about
where
that
am I?
thought,
It's a
though.
question
because then it's self-fulfilling prophecy.
Where am I going to exist? That is the existential dread. But anyhow, that's a me problem. So, anyhow, nice job, guys. See you all next week. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.